KUMA'S burger in Chicago. This is a Metallica. I don't remember them putting onions on this, but these are some crazy burgers. I'm gonna plate it for y'all. Oh, it's all soggy. I had to take the dog out for a walk, so it is soggy. Yum, I love soggy fries. It has bacon, blue cheese, aka just a lot of things not good for your just adulthood. I'm gonna give us ketchup. It's a medium burger. Look at this gargantuan ass bits. I pray for my culo later. So much cheese, so much bacon. Whew, thank you, Lord, for this delicious meal. We're going in. But I'm gonna try to tell you guys some stories. Some lighthearted ones today of how much of a joke my life is. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so I got this about a half hour ago. I was thinking about eating in the car, but I wanted you guys to see the full display. Do you think it's offensive to say you guys? It's just a Chicago thing. Like, some corporations don't want you using those terms. I know when I worked seasonal at Lush, they wanted you to be very inclusive. But everybody always said it. So I was like, okay. You know what I can't stand? Let's say you get something free for you and a friend, right? Or you go to the restaurant and you're like, as a female, you say, I'm waiting for a friend. How many times have they just assumed it was a girl? Will she be here soon? What time are you expecting her? What's her name? Granted, I don't have many guy friends, but I have one really, really good one that I've known for at least 2 decades now. Or they'll just assume that he's gay. What? But whatever. Just don't let small things get to you, but I still find it funny. Like, why are we assuming that a guy and a girl can't be friends? It's very rare, I guess. So, I'm a millennial. If y'all don't already know. Oh, look at this bacon. That is like too much bacon. Tiny's little mama's in the frame. You might see her tail. She's so inconspicuous. Like I love you too. Now, the reason I say that is because I'm an old school millennial. You know, the one that technology is like slowly surpassing her. Them. Like I'm slowly turning to my parents, or I'm just like at the iPhone. So, back in my day, my parents were super strict. But I appreciated that about them because they were protective AF since I was the only girl, the baby at that. Super neurotic. Super protective. My stepdad is just like Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers. Just a genuinely nice white man who's been with me since I was like 3 years old. So he's taught me a lot of patience and all the good things in life, because if it weren't for him, honestly, I probably wouldn't be here. Real talk. He showed me the way. I'm glad technology is not the way it is now, how it was back then, because they would have been monitoring my ass and tracking my ass. Ain't no way I could have lied about where I was at. Yes, it's a cliche. Catholic schoolgirl rebels because parents are too strict. I even tried to pierce my tongue and not have them see it. I got away with it for a little bit. I just tried to talk like this, but they're like, why are you talking like this? They found my first tattoo before they found my tongue ring. I don't know, y'all. Now this one, I'm just giving you a little backstory because I never met anybody online that I didn't know. Like if I did, it would be mutual friends through like Facebook or MySpace or whatever. Like, oh, you know so-and-so, who knows so-and-so, blah, blah. So, even though there were times I would chat with strangers, I never met a stranger online because my parents instilled the fear of God in me, and I thought that I was gonna be catfish before catfish was a word, you know? Before it was a term. So I was very careful with that. But yeah, I would go into like chat rooms and stuff and chat with people, but it was never really my thing to talk to strangers and meet them online. Meet them in the real world, offline. So this was like, where has time gone? The summer or fall of 2018. I was in my prime. I mean, I'm always in my prime. I'm always gonna say I'm in my prime, but I was in an on and off again, relationship for 10 years. We can get into that in another time because we basically just didn't take each other seriously and we were just trying to find better. We were like each other's back burners, so even though he'll tell you that he never cheated or that he never dated other girls, he definitely did. So I was, you know, we were basically like in an open relationship. So I was trying to see what else was out there. And my curious self was like, okay, let me try this Tinder shit. Let me tell you, for somebody who never online dated, going into Tinder and quickly figuring out that stereotypes are true, hearing about how it is to meet people, it really be like that. Now, I had no intentions of just hooking up and having sex and never talking to them again, even though I know that's what it's designed for. I have heard stories about people getting married from there. I didn't have expectations, but I wasn't gonna put out on the first date. Not that I'm above or beneath that, it just wasn't my thing at that time. Plus, I don't know these people. I don't know where y'all been. So I met these two guys at the same time who are both named Mike. Basic ass bitch name to go on Tinder. And one of them, at the time I didn't know, but figured it out, was a fuckboy. And the other one was a nerd. That's basically what I go for. There's like no in between. But I feel like that in between is probably what's the best. So it's either fuckboy or nerd. And I had both mics, completely different. I can't even tell you how long we were talking, but it's just so funny how things change so quickly. But I didn't realize at the time it was because they're just trying to get in my pants. I mean, fuckboy Mike was on my ass. And he was very heavy with like the flirting and stuff, but his picture looks so attractive. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with this guy that he's going online to like meet people? You're probably like, what's wrong with this girl? A lot of mental problems. I think they figured that one out too. The long and short of it is, picture this. A movie scene. Now, I think he lived far. He lived like close to Indiana, so I drove out to meet him at some cafe where we didn't even stay. It was so random. So we met at a cafe, then we went to like by the lake. Then he had to go, and then that was it. But I see him standing in the corner outside of the coffee shop. And as I'm getting closer and closer, you know, there's cars like going in between. I'm like, okay, it's him. But as I got closer, he was like this short. He was like just my height. Like I'm 5'5". And I'm usually not into like, I'm usually not superficial when it comes to like short and tall guys, but this guy was short. Like looking back, I think he was shorter than me. And I'm average, like I'm 5'5". So if someone's shorter than me, I'm just like, okay, the stereotype does exist. The short guys do go on online dating because you can't tell how tall they are. We met once. And then afterwards, he was like, I wish I could have thrown you in the back of my car and like, did it. Oh yeah, me too. That ended because the conversation just fizzled out because I didn't put out on the first date. And then I was never really on Twitter, but I would go on there sometimes. And again, more reason why I just don't do social medias. We can find out so much about a person on social media. But this guy had, Fuckboy Mike had a link to his Twitter. It was a few days after we had met, and he made some status about how he's like giving up on online dating and all the girls he meets are just like, blah. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Like my confrontational ass, I was like, He's like, oh, that wasn't about you, blah, blah. So he's like, oh shit, this girl's crazy. She's stalking me. Cause like, I thought we had good chemistry. I was willing to look past the fact that he was short. Like the dynamic totally changed, and then we just didn't talk again. I'm like, bye. Like he sent me a deep pic, and I was like, dude, that's been in your shit. Like that's been in your camera roll. Like you didn't just take that from me. Like how many bitches are you sending that shit to? I feel like there's a difference between being jealous and being possessive. But I feel like for me, insecurity doesn't come out of a place of not being secure with myself. It comes out of a place like, that's mine. And no one else can have it. I don't know, it's like you see what you want to see. And I don't know what the hell, like, I was just desperate for a man, but then they just didn't want me after I didn't put out the first day. And I was like, okay. And if you're gonna talk shit on social media, I'm gonna confront you. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. Don't have the link to your Instagram. Like, don't have the link to your Twitter where you're talking shit. I'm like, I thought we hit it off. Now, the other one is a little bit of a doozy, but I'm gonna make it like short and quick because we're almost done with our food and it's just like, Now, Nerd Mike, looking back on it, he was nasty. Like, he was talking all types of freaky shit before we even met. And I was just like, oh, haha. It didn't really faze me. I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't know what I was saying. It's like nativity, like super naive. So he lived out in Bufu, like an hour away. And the plan was to go to this chicken shop that's in that area because I'm a fat ass. And if I'm going all that way, I want to go to the chicken shop. Then last minute, he makes some crazy ass excuse. He's like, just come over to my place. I was like, hell no, I don't even know you. I don't know what it was. Like, he convinced me somehow. The logic was just so strange, but I was like, okay, I'm going to this guy's house, to my friend. And I was like, if I get hurt or lost or kidnapped or whatever, this is the address that I'm going to. This was before iPhones could track your location, I think. So, I don't know how old this guy is. I think he was like 21, 23. He looked hella young. But our whole thing was he loved weed, and I loved weed too. I say love because marijuana and alcohol has put me in a lot of bad situations. I put myself in those situations because of those things. Now, this is key. I offered to bring my own. I brought my own. And I was willing to share it and smoke it. Now going back to his age, it was like a huge ass house. So I don't know how old he was, but he looked like a tech wizard. So I was like, maybe he's just rich. But the house was so big, and I was like, okay, his parents aren't home. I mean, he clearly lives with his parents. I don't know, y'all. He didn't make any moves, but I think obviously he was expecting me to do that. And basically I got really high, and I don't know about y'all, but when you're a stoner and you have stoner friends and you invite your stoner friends over, be prepared to shell out food. Be prepared to share your snacks. Because if you're not, don't invite your stoner friends over. That's my motto. You come over, you're gonna probably eat all my food if you're smoking weed. So I got high as hell. We were watching The Matrix. And it was so original. And I ate all his food out the fridge. But mind you, it was because we were supposed to go to the chicken shop. So I was saving my appetite because I wanted the chicken wings. Asshole. So then I left that night. I went home. I was like, oh, he's cool. He's not so bad. Now we smoked all his shit, even though I brought my stuff. And then the dynamic just changed. And I was down his ass. I'm like, hey, like, you're not really hitting me up anymore. Like, I finally confronted him. I'm like, what's going on? Again, in retrospect, it's because I didn't put out. But he's like, yeah, you proceeded to come over and smoke all my weed and eat all my food. So we can't talk anymore. And I let him have it. And I was like, bro, I was supposed to go to the chicken shop with you, so I was hungry as hell. I offered you my weed, and you said I could have your fucking food. Like, if it was a problem, don't let me eat your fucking food. So that was that. That was the last time that your girl went on online dating. So strange. And it's even stranger to me that I, like, became more intrigued by these men after I met them. Boys, they're not men. And I never heard from, I'll just say, or dated a Mike after that, but I did date a Mike after that, and it was horrible. So, no offense to my Mikes out there, but I'm not dating any more Mikes. I'm also engaged, but I can't. Sometimes it's all in the name, and like Michael or Mike, like, I hope you're different from the rest of the Mikes. But yeah, Mike. This was good. Even though it was a little soggy, it was still good. I think I was just desperate. And then that's why I always had my then boyfriend on and off again in the background. I'm like, hey, let's just hang out because everyone else sucks. Hang out and bone. I don't know. The stories we're gonna share together, y'all. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? You're either gonna feel better about your life, or you're gonna be like, oh damn, that was me too. Bye. Thanks for joining me.